women in the military have always played key roles when it comes to doing their part in the defense of this nation. Our military has always been lucky enough to have, very professional, highly qualified women wearing those uniforms and fighting America's wars and defending our country against terroristic activity and other nefarious things that people would love to do to our great country. I'm saddened by the recent comments and behaviors of Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, whatever you want to call him, whatever he calls himself. I'm saddened. I'm saddened that he would publicly shame women in the way that he's doing. And yes, it was public shaming. I've talked to a lot of women. In fact, I just read a comment from a woman on TikTok who said during that speech, she felt so small. So the video I did, and I uploaded to TikTok where I praised women and thanked them, she said she definitely needed it. A lot of women said they needed it. They need for men to come out of the shadows and say they support our women in uniform. They need to be supported. This is not a great time for women. And I don't mean that in a bad way toward the woman. What I'm saying, it's not a bad time for women because men can't get their shit together. Or so-called men. I don't know what Pete Hegseth's aim is. I don't know what his goal is, or what his issue is with black people and with women. But it's obvious that both are targets of him. The only thing I can think of is that when that man served in the guard, he likely ran across a female that outranked him. She outranked him. And she got in his ass. And she put him in his place. And it likely was the same for a person of color, not necessarily black. Could have been someone of Latino descent or Hispanic descent. Someone that outranked that guy put him in his place. I've met people like Pete Hegseth as I served. I've met a lot of people like Pete Hegseth when I served. And those folks typically don't end up making it far within the ranks. They don't make it very far. Look at Pete Hegseth's rank. First rank he made was a major in 20 years? I think he retired. A major. Nothing against majors out there. Great majors out there. I know majors out there that command units so professionally and meet the Air Force mission as stated. But I gotta tell you, for someone to have attained the rank of major in the Guard, to have a room full of admirals and generals, and sizing them up about warrior ethos, it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. And as I look out into the audience, what did I see? I saw some female leaders, which makes me proud. But one thing I know is when I saw those female leaders, the other thing that came to mind is, my God, what they had to go through to get there. What they had to go through to get there. Because nothing is given to women in the military. They earn their keep. They've been earning their keep for years. The women I served alongside, they didn't complain. They did exactly what the Air Force asked them to do. And they did it with honor, and they did it with dignity. And they wore the uniform well. Women have always had this thing with me where, uniform is really important, particularly for the Air Force and for all branches. But the Air Force has this thing about the way it looks, the way it's perceived. And so they have some amazing marketing campaigns to try to get young recruits into the Air Force. But it's amazing how, women keep themselves up and wear those uniforms much better than the men do. I mean, and at the same time, they got to walk around with a poker face, and they can't, show any signs of weakness. They can't, and I don't want to say they can't. They won't. They won't. A lot of women will not try to lean on, woe with me, or woe with me, I'm a woman. They don't do that. They don't do that. They earn their keep. The women I've served with, they earn their keep. And I've worked with some badass women out there, let me tell you. And I continue to work with some badass women veterans. So women, if that speech he gave the other day makes you feel anything other than honored to be wearing that uniform, as a man, I apologize. But also as a man, I want to acknowledge something. There is no great military without the strength of a woman. And with that, I thank all our women that served and who continue to serve in harm's way around the world. Thank you, women. Bye-bye.